Yeah, look, Iran is run by a group of medieval religious fanatics aspiring to have nuclear weapons. They're a very dangerous power, and they are an outrider, an aspect of the Beijing-Moscow axis that has been forming. But Russia is a mature nuclear power with thousands of warheads and capable delivery systems, which Iran still doesn't have. Uh, it has engaged in unprovoked aggression against Ukraine twice now, 2014 and 2022, and neither Ukraine nor the West have responded effectively. So Russia remains the threat, particularly as this axis with China grows. And I think it will grow, and I think it's a threat until somehow the Putin regime is removed from power in Russia and democracy gets another chance. I don't know when that's going to occur. I'm not optimistic. I don't think things will change in Russia until it does. Yeah, well, I'm very worried about Trump's possible reelection, and particularly with respect to NATO and specifically with regard to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I do think if he can focus his attention long enough, which is difficult for Trump, that he will try to withdraw from NATO. And I think he would. I think presidents can withdraw from any treaties they want, and he could do it. And it would be a catastrophic mistake for the United States all around the world if he did. But it's possible. Uh, uh, I think Putin is in part waiting to see if Trump does that because the withdrawal of the U.S. from NATO would render NATO essentially ineffective, not just for Ukraine, but for the entire alliance. Well, the government of Russia today isn't really a government in a sense that people understand it. There are no mechanisms to change power. The elections are clearly rigged. Even during Soviet days, there was a Politburo of the Communist Party that could say to Nikita Khrushchev after the Cuban Missile Crisis, for example, in 1963, Nikita, it's time to retire. That mechanism doesn't exist. There's nobody who's going to tell Vladimir Putin it's time to retire. So I'm afraid that the only way you see a transition away from Putin is in a time of crisis for Russia, where somebody from the military or the intelligence services have a coup and Putin is ousted. Now, what that leads to is anybody's guess. Obviously, the best alternative would be a transition, a democratic election, and another effort, as was undertaken in the 1990s, have a representative government. But Russia's in a weaker position now than it was then. I am very worried about Russian Asia and what China has its eyes on already. Remember, Vladivostok and the land around it was Chinese as recently as 1860. They haven't forgotten that, and they can see the minerals, the oil and gas that just to their north. It's going to be a very dangerous period for Russia, and the chances of becoming part of the West again are far more limited now, given Chinese influence, than they were before. So, if there is whatever happens in the Kremlin, if a new government emerges of military or whatever stripe, this may be the last chance for constitutional government that could keep Russia from collapsing into warring states.